You're a busy man. What have you been so busy working on?
Just been doing a lot of press in Broadway right now. Thoughts of a Colored Man. Really good play. If you're in New York, I would definitely recommend seeing it. The movie.
And you're on BMF. How was Terry, Southwest Tea originally described to you?
Oh, how was the character described to me?
Yes.
Oh, it was just, the breakdown was, it was a kid that was battling the streets and his personal life. And he was torn between the two. And he also had a child on the way, and he was just conflicted with these three things. And, he had to, decide what he wanted to do. And he tried to, put on one face to his parents, another face when he's in the streets, and all those type of things. So, yeah, and I was like, wow, I like this character. But it's funny because originally I went out for B. Mickey and Terry.
Oh,
You watch the series, B. Mickey is the dude that, he's kind of like the hostile, trigger happy, gun happy one.
right. The opposite. Well, what have you found so challenging then about being this role?
Um, I think the most challenging part is the fact that I'm playing someone that's real. So with when you put that into your mind, it's like the person is alive and still relatively young, and they're going to judge the character, and they're going to judge how I portray his character. So that was like a lot of pressure. I was like, damn, I hope he's happy with how I portray it. I'm just going to do this as honest as I possibly can. And I remember probably like the third episode of the season, he reached out to me and he paid me homage. He was really excited, and he was just like, man,
Wow.
doing a hell of a job. And to me personally, that was like putting an Emmy, because he's really the only opinion that matters.
Right. Were you familiar with any of your co-stars before working with them on BMF?
No, I was familiar with their work, but I wasn't familiar with them like in person. Like I knew Asiana, I knew Miles Truitt, who played B. Mickey, and everyone. And then, of course, Wood Harris and Steve Harris and Snoop Dogg and Cash Doll. I was familiar with them, but I didn't like know them.
Well, every episode just seems to get more grittier and better and better. Were there some episodes that you were really excited to film or ones that you were nervous about filming?
So sometimes some of the episodes, when Terry was like, I think the episode when I was holding my child, and I had to like reflect on all the stuff that I was doing when he was getting baptized in the church. That one was a tough one because I had to, mentally just so not going to a dark place. So that one was, tough for sure.
You're part of social media. What kind of feedback have you gotten so far? I know you mentioned Terry has reached out to you and that one was the most significant response, but what kind of response have you been receiving from fans?
I've been receiving great response. The fans are hilarious though. For one, like the memes and stuff like that I've been seeing, I've been dying laughing. But overall, I think the fans are very pleased with everyone's performance. So that's great as well to hear. That I believe Meach and Terry are both happy with how the story came out, and the fans love it. So it's like, I mean, it's a win-win.
What does it mean to you to be a part of a series that has so many people of color as the lead?
I think it's dope. It's dope. I'm happy that this series is a series that's making history. These two brothers. It's a true story, and they did something that was basically impossible. So I was like, wow, to be a part of that story and telling that story that's going to go down in history forever. I'm like, wow, this is so dope. You know, this early on in my career, I'm playing like, you know, two legends already. I was like, wow, this is dope, you know?
My goodness. Well, we seeing you now, as you mentioned, on the Broadway stage, which is so incredible. Was it always your dream to do theater?
It was something that I thought about, you know, before, like, you know, I was like, you know, when I got into the acting business, I was like, you know, God has, you know, graced me with a lot of, you know, favor very early, you know. So but I didn't realize how favored I was until I heard other people's stories. Like I was like, oh wow, I usually takes this long. I was like, damn, you know, it's a huge blessing. And you know, a part of me was like, you know, I want to go back to the basics. I want to go back to, you know, theater because everyone's like, man, you skipped all these steps, kid. Like you gotta really go in the trenches and da da da. And I'm like, you know, I want to give it a try. Now that I'm giving it a try, good God, that is a lot of work. Broadway is a lot of work. Like it's no joke. 8 shows a week, performing in front of a live crowd. You know, it's something that you have to experience as an entertainer, and you'll really get your stripes as an actor when you do that. I feel like personally.
It is a lot of work, and I appreciate you sneaking in some time, sharing your voice with me. I know that theater actors, since you do live shows, have to, you know, save your instrument, as they say. But what would you like to say to fans and supporters of the wonderful work that you do?
Um, I just want to say honestly, thank you guys, you know, for like just rocking with me. A lot of people, you know, they've been rocking with me since my first project, you know, and that got me notoriety, which was college. And I love it. And, you know, for people who want to pursue their dreams out there and who has high aspirations, they keep going. Like just and just because somebody else don't believe in it, it's okay because God gave it to you, not them. So they can't see that, you know. And something that I always used to tell myself is that in the end, everything is gonna be okay. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. So it's like just keep pushing and be persistent, you know. And those are the words that I was literally told, and I had to get those words like basically ingrained in my head. So like when it got tough, I was like, I could just keep going. I could just keep pushing.
Oh,